Hello, my name is Rebecca. I still exist. And I think got a co-host this time.
Hello there, everyone. It's nice to see you again. And of course, we're once again joined by the wonderful Rebecca.
Hey, you're not going to me that easily.
No. So it's really lovely to see you again, Rebecca. I have been back from Japan Expo a while. We are actually going to do a podcast just on Japan Expo. Probably that'll be our 20th episode. So probably we'll be getting a guest in who came to Japan Expo with me.
Are we sure it's going to...
We hope. We pray.
We know how we go off course.
Yeah, we really do go off course, but we hope. Hopefully this week at some point we may get. So you may get 2 animes in the UK this week to celebrate our 20th episode, because it's episode 19, I believe. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've done your maths correctly.
Got my maths right. That was a bit of a worry. As I was saying, we're here today, Anime UK. We actually got quite a packed episode. It's like recently, a few episodes we've had like one thing to talk about. We have about 3 things to talk about, and I think all 3 of them are kind of big. A lot of hololive stuff and holostars stuff. Of course, the slow invasion of anime on UK television, and I guess then, of course, all the craziness of Hyper Japan. As it's a busy episode, should we try and get in at the hololive?
Oh yeah.
So what do you want to start with, Rebecca?
Good stuff. Do you want the good stuff or the bad stuff?
It's up to you today. As you haven't been on for a while, I'm going to sort of let you take a bit of a lead today.
The bad news is we've got our first EN graduation.
Yeah.
We're losing Sana at the end of the month.
Yes, this is really sad. We are losing our first ever EN girl. I believe this is the first girl out of EN and IN to leave.
Yes.
I'm correct there. Sana, of course, who debuted last year. Mm-hmm. Was the first to debut out of Cancel from what I remember seeing her debut.
Yes,
stream.
She was the first debut from Cancel. So
she was the first member of Cancel we did actually get to see. It's just sad. It's sad at any time that anyone leaves hololive or anything like that. Of course, it's the person's choice, the streamer's choice that they have to sign.
Yeah, they passed. I think what happened was like she had some health problems. The algorithm kind of really screws her over to start with. Yeah. And she didn't really recovered. Yeah. I think her dog died and she took some time to recover from that. Mm-hmm. And she didn't tend to stream much, but she had like some health problems as well, and also her non-hololive stuff was quite labour intrusive, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Of course, these people do have a private life, unfortunately, it just sounded like it was a bit of a sad time. And I do know people. I don't personally have a pet, but I do know to a lot of people their pets mean a lot. I mean, your cat. Yes. I hear all about your cat, and I can tell people when it's actually, if you're that close to an animal, you're going to, if it sadly does pass away, it's going to be absolutely devastating. But yeah, it's sad to see her. I will admit I haven't seen the most of her, but from what I saw, I thought she was pretty good. She was pretty funny. She was the big Australian, as I refer to her as.
Out there human. Out there humour.
Yeah. She definitely brought something to hololive.
Yeah.
As you said,
and she forgot to guest at an Australian convention.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, so at least, but she's at least got to do like the little chibi bit, a proper chibi debut.
Yeah.
Before she will graduate, but she's on the good terms of graduation, like Coco.
Yeah, that's good. It's better when you're leaving. I would use the example of Blue. Do you remember? Did you watch Blue Peter as a kid?
Yes.
A lot of us, Blue Peter is like this really big British television
institution.
It's like an institution. Everyone in the UK knows about Blue Peter. Blue Peter. It's like an honour. It's like they give you this badge if you're on the show for like 5 seconds. I was on the show for 5 seconds. They gave me a badge. So literally, I went on eBay and bought myself one because I was like, I'm owed a badge. But yeah, I want to use a famous example is one of the hosts got fired for like drugs, and famously they didn't like, just before the show they sort of got the head of the BBC children's BBC to like come on and be like, Richards has been fired for being a very naughty boy, but then they like never referenced it in the show. Why, when other hosts would leave, they'll be like, oh hey, like Connie's leaving after like 10 years, they would actually build it up. I think
I found out that he got fired because of BBC News rather than Twitter.
Yeah, that was interesting. So that's interesting. So you kind of almost that sense that one day you're there, one day you're gone if you're in trouble. But then if you say, look, I'm leaving, they will give you that's kind of like nice, like, oh, you're leaving. We'll do like, you have the announcements that, oh, I'm leaving in a few weeks' time, and then they normally have that like last episode where they're like, well, today as they're leaving, we're just gonna have the best of this person episode. And they'll go, oh, we bought a little surprise for you, and here's a cake, and like good luck in your endeavours. So yeah, I guess it's nice that we're going to get the proper. I think the saddest thing is that I talked about this to a few other hololive fans at Hyper Japan.
Yeah.
I think the sad thing is that we'll never get a full series of like Nendroid for cancel, or Figmas, or even Pops, or any. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we are getting another Omo Cat collab at the end of the month.
Oh, I think someone did actually point that out to me. They did say we're getting another one of that. It's just a bit shaming because I know a lot of people collect Nendroids and they're probably going to want all of. We know we're getting all of Myth, and then they're probably
looking up all of Myth.
Then we're getting Iris, so it's just always going to be sad that there's just going to be that one little cancel missing spot, because I'm pretty sure eventually they will do cancel. They'll do like cancel Figmas, cancel Nendroids, cancel Pops if they ever do hololive Pops. So that's kind of like, I was sad to say, there's always just going to be that little gap in like everyone's collection.
I mean, even Russia's had figures.
Yeah, and it's also sad she'll never get her full 3D debut. So we never get a full cancel 3D thing. God, we're just making ourselves sad everything we're thinking about. But shall we talk about happier things in hololive?
Yeah.
What is
We've
that?
Actually EN holostars has debuted.
That's really good news, I will admit.
Yeah.
I've only seen a few clips of this. I've been so busy in France, and I this just like totally passed me by. How are they? How are the new pretty boys?
They're kind of like the lads.
From what I saw the pizza. What's it?
That's just great.
They're like, you have to get that question out of the way.
Yeah. It seems like most of the streams that are doing so far, like chat streams.
Yeah. You mean they haven't played Stray yet?
No, I think what I want to do is I want to get. I think they want to do like more like quite chill streams, because I think that a lot of the a lot of their streams are shorter.
Yeah.
And a lot of the playing game streams are quite long.
I see.
But people have been begging for EN holostars for ages, even though Nijisani is kind of beaten to the punch.
I think they have. It's funny, the more I'm looking at the holostars, there's one of them looks like the edgy anime version of Garfield. No, I can't unsee that.
Axel.
Yeah, no. Do you remember? I didn't like the show. I think there's people out there who like this show, so I do apologise to people. That god awful Looney Tunes Animax thing they did in the early 2000s.
I never watched it.
It was I had the mission for watching it. It was god awful. It was terrible. It was all this big like edgy. If the Looney Tunes were like action stars and something, that kind of looks like if they did that to Garfield. But that would, the more I think about it, the idea of Garfield being this anime protagonist just makes me laugh more and more.
Somebody would have done it already.
I just want to see like Odie and John in this universe.
Someone's probably already done it. Yeah. But as I said before, it's literally saying it's going to get a bit more popular with the EN, with the English fan base.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I think it's great because people have been begging for EN holostars for ages. Mm-hmm. And it's like trying to get... It's like... And people have... And people do like male VTubers. Mm-hmm. And some of them are just really popular. Mm-hmm. Fox Akuma from Nijisani. Sea Dog's VTuber persona.
Of course.
And Merryweather.
I was about to say. Got to give a call out to my new friend Merryweather. I'll get onto that a little bit later. Rebecca, I just realised something. I probably have met two of the most popular male VTubers.
Nice.
And you have as well. Oh, I just realised something. I was about to say that, I technically met a VTuber before you did. But no, you've actually technically met a VTuber before I did.
Yeah.
Because you met Connor before I did, so you technically...
Yeah.
So you win that one by a matter of seconds.
Yeah. But...
Yeah.
Like the audience for VTubers is very varied. Like people think, male VTubers are going to get these people into it, but the VTuber fan base is really mixed. It's like girls like female fans are into like the female VTubers as well as male ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
It's like when people, my panel.
Yeah.
Like the audience was about a good 50-50.
Yes, there was both male and female. I think were you just expecting there to be a lot of males there? That's what? A
lot of male or male identifying.
Yeah. I mean that I think when you were like starting the panel, you were like, yeah, it's going to be a load of guys like in anime tops, like myself, like in an anime top, it's going to be like 30 Tims. Maybe like someone's bought a girlfriend along. But no, I will admit it was actually quite a big mixture. Then I think VTubing especially at that time, it was kind of the first through the gate. It was like the first VTuber event. I think people were just like, what is this thing? And I think they just wanted to know, and I think that's one reason people like to do Demianicon. So
and probably will be another VTuber panel next year.
Yes, that's going to be fun. Talking about, I'm actually going to be seeing Mianicon people next week, or this week at Toko. Got any messages for any Demianicon staff that I can relay to them?
Give me a bigger panel room.
I had a feeling that was going to... Okay.
Give me a bigger panel room.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it all the same time, maybe a bit later, but see who else submits panels.
Yeah, I understand. I'll have a talk. We'll figure it out, because we got to figure out, because I'm potentially going a different direction with one of my panels, so I kind of have to go and get the okay from them that I'm okay going in a different direction with that panel. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
it's like the EN audience probably up more mixed stuff compared to the JP audience.
Yeah.
It's like Ollie was very excited that all of them play Apex. He wants some Apex buddies.
Oh no, does that mean that Hammy's going to play with them? Maybe, yeah. You can get a load of APEC.
It's like try and sneak a cheeky Nando's with the lads.
Yeah. But that's good. If they ever come over, shall we ask them if they want to go to Nando's?
Or holostars.
Oh, we should have asked Trash Taste. We should have asked them at the table. We should have said, do you want to go for a cheeky Nando's? And the anime man had no idea what we were on about. And they probably would have said no because they are very busy people, and we respect that. Damn, they come back, so we're going to ask them again. We'll ask them to a cheeky Nando's.
Yeah. Yeah, but in EN Hololive do need a bit of a win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After losing Sana.
Yeah.
Even though they're not exactly swimming in subs, holostar stuff doesn't usually swim in subs as much. They're all over 100k in subs, but they've got their audience and their devotees.
Yeah, this is a new market, I guess. So it's going to be a different ball game. So, but it's good. Yeah. It's good they're getting into the market. They look interesting from what I've seen of them. They do look interesting.
Somebody's always done some cursed fan art. Somebody drew like Desmond as a pony.
You're like that.
Yeah.
Oh god. Shall we get away from hololive now? We're talking about cursed things.
Yes.
So we talk about I guess the very slow invasion of anime on UK television or with television networks. This has kind of been a big week for anime in the UK. You pardon the pun.
Yay!
But yeah, this week ITV have signed a deal for over 400 hours of content from Anime Limited, our good friends over at Anime Limited. Hello, Anime Limited.
We love you, Anime Limited.
Some of them actually do follow us on Twitter. So if you're watching any Anime Limited people, hi. I hope you like the show. Yeah, this is an interesting one. This is a bit left field. So I'm guessing ITVX is a new version of ITV Hub.
Probably a better run as well.
Yeah, I don't think ITV Hub. I mean, honest God, you want to know the only time I've used ITV Hub?
What?
The only time I've used ITV Hub is when there's a big international football tournament on, and I'm watching. If I'm away from home, and that's where I normally tend to watch the England matches. So I have the misfortune of it being on ITV. I can watch it. I can actually get to watch it on the phone. So I believe ITVX, from my understanding, is a new, bigger version. I believe there's going to be 2 versions. It's going to be a version, from what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. This is wrong. I'm sorry. I put my hands up. I believe there's going to be a paid version with no adverts. And then there's going to be a non-paid version with adverts.
A bit like Crunchyroll.
Yeah, Crunchyroll.
With more ITV stuff.
Yeah. So I think what they're trying to do is trying to get a bigger. So I think they're trying to buy, because I think they've got partnerships with True Crime UK, CBS Reality, so that they can get more shows that they probably wouldn't normally have. And they've signed a deal with Anime Limited to have Esther Flome, Lupin the Third Part 6. Would be nice if you had Part 1 through Part 5 on there. Just saying. Megalobots, and of course the critically acclaimed Cowboy Bebop, which is always a big hit. Lots of people like Cowboy Bebop. But I think the most interesting one is, of course, Gunbusters. Of course, one of Anno's earlier works before Evangelion. Of course, has never been dubbed until now.
I don't think, has Gunbusters ever got a UK release? Or is this the first UK release of Gunbusters?
The first UK release. I do remember there being a DVD release. You don't want to know why? There was definitely a US release. This is
that US release, which is really expensive.
No, this is actually, I'm probably kicking myself now. Back in the olden days when I used to go to London Anime Club.
Yeah.
This is before I knew you. I remember once my friend Michael, because they used to have all the import DVD shops, stalls there. And I remember him going through the bargain bin and finding one of the Gunbusters DVD, it was like a way later volume. But he was like, I want to check out this Gunbusters. I'll pick it up. Nuts to figure how much that DVD is worth. So that's how I know it definitely was a US release, because they still only sold official stuff, so there definitely was some sort. I'm pretty sure unless there was some still VHS release, so we do apologise. Probably any of the old school Meonicon people watching go, there was an old school VHS. You youngsters don't know about the VHS days. I'm pretty sure it was never a UK release, so this is actually really interesting. I guess as Netflix has got Evangelion all tied up, I guess they kind of wanted something that would make people go, oh, they got Gunbusters. I'm guessing this interesting thing is going to be, will this come out first, or will the home media release come out first?
This is hard to know. They say apparently the Anime Limited are saying that they're working on getting a home media release.
Yeah.
So probably sometime next year.
Yeah. So this is launching late. So this is going to be out before the... So it's saying like, ITV will be streaming the World Cup, I'm a Celebrity, Love Island finale.
No one cares about that. We just, you care about the World Cup.
I care about the World Cup final, but but yeah, no, it's just interesting. I'm a bit shocked they've not tried to come with some newer stuff. Like any Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan. I mean, whether the rights were somehow thingied up somewhere else.
Might have been thingied up somewhere else.
Yeah, tied up. I think they must be tied up.
Probably the Crunchyroll tied it up.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, no offense, I think something like Jujutsu Kaisen or Tokyo Ghoul or even Attack on Titan, like ITV4, maybe like after they show Family Guy and stuff, if you want to like make it some sort of... I know you'll go, oh, people go and watch it online, oh, people go and do that, but you got to understand sometimes, you know, there's always potential market out there. I know loads of people just watch Family Guy.
It's like, back when Family Guy was on BBC Three.
Yeah.
It's like, my dad always used to put it on, or leave it on. Yeah. I've always complained about it.
Do you remember you used to like Family Guy?
I mean, it was alright.
It was alright. I used to really like Family Guy. I just really went off of it. It's just, out of like all the American animated sitcoms, I think it's aged the most horribly.
Yep.
But yeah. But it's just interesting to see. I mean, me personally, if I was doing this, I would have probably... It's good they're doing some old school stuff, but I would probably try picking up something. I just see it as being a potential good idea. Just after Family Guy, you know, it's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. Just stick Attack on Titan on. It's just that market. I don't know. It's normally probably they go on to something like that. I don't know. Love Island.
Just laughing at like people just watching Attack on Titan at 1 o'clock. I'm sure that people don't watch Attack on Titan at 1 o'clock, but it's like no one like that. It's supposedly fun for TV. Like it's loud.
What's this? No. That does happen. I remember when I went, I think it's the second trip to Japan, I remember watching loads of Japanese TV just to see all the new, like the anime that was on at the time. And there were shows that I picked up just like purely just because I just caught a clip of it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's way better than something like Crunchyroll where it's just a picture and you have to make that decision from that almost that one picture. I do like, it's like, I'm lucky enough to have like the streaming service that does have the full Japanese TV on there. I was like, earlier today I was watching the new Tokyo Mew Mew. It just was randomly on. I was like, oh, I can check this out. To tell you the truth, it really didn't look overly like a show that I probably would overly like, but it was still interesting to watch. I was like, okay, I've given this show a fair try, and there's
I gave it a fair try as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I think I've grown out of that sort of thing, unfortunately.
I mean, I looked in, I was a bit like, I mean, if it was on randomly Japanese TV like this now, I'd keep it on, but I'm not going to passionately like watch it subtitled or anything like that. I just think this is a very cliche style of show, and I personally don't think this is overly adding anything except for nostalgia. And even I will admit I never really watched Tokyo Mew Mew back in the day, so I'm not overly nostalgic. It has a banging opening title, it's the original, and a banging ending, and the new one doesn't have as much of a banging opening and ending. So
it is a bit by the committee.
Yeah, it feels a bit more by the numbers. The animation is nice. I will give them that. There's not, the animation isn't 100% terrible. It's like, okay, this is, I can understand if you're someone who really grew up this back on the day, it is nice to have a better animated version of this. But I'm like, this show's not going to like change the world.
Yeah.
It's not Madoka Magica. It's not going to like define the genre.
I've been spoiled by that.
I think of that as well. I think I was ruined by the original Madoka Magica. Funny, me and Karen were moaning about Rebellion Story. She doesn't like Rebellion Story like I do. It was just so nice to moan about Rebellion Story.
It's a bit.
Yeah. We called it bad fanfic. We called it bad fanfiction. Somehow made canon. Right now ITV are doing this. BBC are like, I can't be left behind in you know. I mean, earlier this year, I believe BBC started getting the rights to older Pokemon series. I think they started showing Pokemon Black and White right at the start of the year. Those of you who don't know, Pokemon was normally traditionally on ITV.
Yeah.
I think it's moved around a few cable networks, but I think it's always been on ITV as almost like the home.
It's like Sky One.
Yeah, Sky One originally. The cable
Network. Yeah.
Jetix, Disney DX, and now it's on Pop as I think the new episodes still air on Pop. And I think actually this is how the BBC have got these shows, because they've also got the rights to Dragon Ball Super. And I believe they put the first half of Dragon Ball Super, and they've already said they're putting the second half up later on. And this is an interesting thing, because today I was at the cinema. I went to go and treat myself to go and see Minions 2. And
nice.
Guess what? There
was delayed Minions.
Yeah, much delayed. I didn't go in a suit, for anyone asks. And yeah, it was interesting because beforehand, they showed like trailers for stuff. Funny because they normally used to show trailers for the Pokemon card game. Now, they actually showed had a CBBC trailer, and it was like, yo, CBBC is getting invaded by toons this summer. And it was interesting because Pokemon was a big part of the advert. You could see Dragon Ball in the background, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. You know, the fact they're actually really pushing Pokemon. The fact they got Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is only the previous season.
A recent-ish.
Yeah, it's the last. It's technically a spoiler for people who are not seeing it. The one where Ash finally wins the bloody league. And yeah, it was interesting. So they're also showing Dragon Ball Super, and there's actually another commercial I found today that actually just flat out say, "Yo, check out the new anime." He actually flat out admits it's not like this is a cartoon like the other one. So no, check out, and it was shown for Pokemon, Dragon Ball, and I believe the other show they have is Rojana the Robber's Daughter, which I believe is some sort of...
The Thief's Daughter, is that the Ghibli one?
Yeah, that's the Ghibli one. So it's interesting that this is BBC's also attempt, I guess, more a children's market.
Yeah, and plus you've got, I think there's a lot of Pokemon stuff over the summer.
Yes, we've got the World Tournament.
And another McDonald's promotion.
Rebecca, have I told you this yet?
What?
I'm not in the Pokemon tournament. I'm not in the Pokemon trading card tournament.
No.
I'm not in the Pokemon Go tournament, which you probably go back to. Probably that's the one place you should be. I'm in the Last Chance Pokemon tournament.
Wow.
That was the only way I could get into the World Championship.
Are we going to see a Tim vlog about
it
while I want to get a cuter?
Yes. There's going to hopefully be a special about me entering the Pokemon tournament. Which get absolutely obliterated. But I want to go to the World Tournament. You know, it's that team just gets hammered at the World Cup, but they look really happy to be there. I'm going to be that team who gets to the World Cup but gets hammered.
You just wanted to go to.
I just wanted to go. I want to go to the Pokemon Center. And yeah, this is the only way I could go because all the tickets are sold out. Because I was at Japan Expo when they came on sale. More of the story, kids. There is don't pay attention to when tickets come on sale. So yeah, we got that.
You sure don't?
We got that to look forward to. So any Pokemon players out there who see me coming as your competitor, yeah, you're gonna like, it's gonna be a sweep. I'm going to try practicing. I actually do have the game. I have played a little bit of it. It's just probably the game I'm not stuck. So yeah. Right. So that's it for Pokemon or anime and TV. Shall we get on to the big thing?
Oh yeah.
So this last weekend, after Japan Expo and the fun that of course I will talk about in another podcast, we had Hyper Japan.
Ooh.
We have Hyper Japan, which is weird because a lot of people I know who normally do go, like yourself, my sister, didn't go.
That's because we're going to Vancouver instead.
I know, but it was weird because it's like you guys kind of to say that this Hyper Japan has been a bit controversial. Shall we start on the good?
Yeah.
Shall we start on the good?
Yes.
Shall we try starting on the good? I was lucky enough. The good thing about this Hyper Japan was actually this is the first ever UK event to actually have VTuber guests.
I know.
Actually, no, wait. I will actually take that back. Sonny Kong did have one VTuber guest, I do remember. But
yes.
But this is the second UK event to have VTuber guests.
Yes.
And they got some big ones. They of course got
Merryweather.
Who of course is not just VTubing. Merryweather's done quite a lot.
I think he was originally going to come in 2020, but you know what happened.
That's a shame. Oh well. It was. I'll get onto the Merryweather. There was also a Q&A which I didn't get to because I decided not to go on the second day. There was also a concert in one of the after concerts. Someone who was there, Karen who was there, did say they only did one song, unfortunately. That was not hot.
I think that's a typical thing about.
Yeah. Because
it's a typical thing about VTuber concerts. Each talent does like one song.
Yeah.
Unless it's a specialist concert.
Yeah. So yeah, no, both nights had a VTuber in there. So was it not Hop Bot on the first night, and Nina Satamachi the second night, and there was another VTuber panel that had a group of VTubers: Phoebe, Nayu, Stiff, Alana, Alpha Fini, and the Crab VTuber. I want to meet the Crab VTuber. So I was lucky enough to go to the Merryweather panel, which unfortunately was a bit late because they had technical faults. But yeah, Merryweather was really good. I have posted the entire panel on the YouTube channel, so if you have missed out. And I got to talk to a real life VTuber. I spoke to a cartoon character. Yeah, no, it's really nice. I was asking about Iron Mouse. I will admit I probably could have asked my question. I could have worded it a little bit better. I was more asking, I was like, were you expecting Iron Mouse to become big, even though I realised she was already big. I think I was more asking, did you ever think she'd get to like number one on Twitch? I mean, that was quite a try. But Mary did. It was a good sport. He did kind of thankfully help me restructure my question properly. But he was talking about when Mousy was actually like really starting out, and he was like, yeah, like. But yeah, no, check out the panel. It gave some really interesting advice. What did you think of the panel? Did you see it yet?
It was great.
A lot of energy. Yeah, Mario has a lot of energy. Interesting story, that one about how he got his fan comics sort of really well known. The whole piracy story, how he pretended that his comics were actual real mangas. and just stuck them on piracy websites. So then all the pirate websites would just sort of, and then sort of make sure he could ping you back to his Twitter. That was just an interesting story. But yeah, no, he saying no, he was really interesting. So yeah, no, that was really good. Just a shame it was a bit shorter than I think it was supposed to be, and it was a bit delayed. But next time, if Hype Japan you are listening, yes, more VTuber content, please.
Yes. People like their VTubers.
Yeah. So I guess if we're still going on positives, we're going to be over fast. There were some interesting stalls. The JR store was fun. Did you see I broke their vending machine?
Yes, you did.
I broke the JR, they had a Japanese style vending machine. Even though they missed an opportunity there. They had no, they had one exclusive item. It was all UK snacks and stuff they had in there. They could have had a load of Japanese sweets and snacks. But I bought the last Coke and broke the machine because it got confused. And they're like, oh no, it's because it's the last Coke and it doesn't quite realise. But yeah, no, that was cool. There was some amazing artists in there. Artist Alley is always really good. We'll be getting back onto the Artist Alley later because that's where I have a lot to say. As Rebecca has been making notes. It was really nice It was nice hanging out with Tomo, who you would have seen in the vlog. Tomo was a good sport. The concert I saw outside was nice. Probably just you got to make an ass yourself in karaoke. Yeah, I sang on stage. That was nice. Thank you for doing that as well. Over Japan. I thought I was a good singer. There's that one guy freaking out. He was like, "Yeah, you're an amazing singer." He was cool. Trying to think it's just hard trying to think of nice things to say. The ceiling was nice. Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice ceiling. So it's VTubers, vending machine, ceiling, some nice stalls. And he didn't buy any Pokemon cards. No Pokemon cards because I was very poor at the time. Artists are good. I already said that. I think I've run out of nice things to say about Hyper Japan. Shall we go on to the bad? Well, I didn't go this time, but I've been to Hyper Japan since 2011 and have gone to about most of them. Yes. You didn't go to the first one? I didn't go to the first one. Mm-hmm. I missed some of the recent ones. Mm-hmm. As a long time ago, they're like the best ones when I was Earl's Court, RIP, and maybe the first couple of Tobacco Dog. Yeah. So, mm-hmm. You're getting your notes. You're getting your notes out. Right. Well, they're up already. Yeah. But I suppose there's stuff I couldn't do as normal this year because of current worldly events. Yeah. But and venues in London are not easy to get hold of. No, the Olympia is being renovated. Yes. And the XL has certain clauses about Comic-Con. Yeah, from my understanding is I think they have stakes in MCM somehow. So it's kind of like their horse. And they don't want any other horse running on their course, in other words. That's my understanding. Unless certain conditions have to be met. Certain conditions. In other words, they don't want to help the rivals. Yes. And I think my understanding is anime is actually one of the things they can't run another anime event. You can't have anime in your event. MCM is the only anime late. From my understanding, is the only anime related event allowed to run. That's kind of one of the things they got them on. So it's like Super Comic Con had to be about Western comic books only. Yeah, that was the thing when they did Super Comic Con. They only so they had it at a new venue. I believe it's the first time. I think this venue is pretty new. Is it the Evolution at Battersea Park? Yes. I will say Battersea Park is very nice. There's a zoo next to it. I didn't get in there. But yeah, Battersea Park is nice. But yeah, when I literally got there, I got to the venue. I got there an hour afterwards. It started. And there was quite a big line already, and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Saw Liam coming in, waved to him. He was whisked right through because he had a weekend ticket. So, yeah, it was like a good half an hour, minute wait. And, I mean, I guess the staff were trying their hardest, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of people at the gate. You know what I mean? It was one of those, the ticket check-in process was so slow that was causing the line. So I waited, and, you know, I was like, oh, no offense, I got on here an hour, like on a Friday at like 1 o'clock. It's a bit worrying at Friday at 1 o'clock that you have such a long line. I hate to see what it's going to be like on a Saturday when no one has work.
Yeah, well, I was arguing about whether to go to Hyper Japan, but I decided against it in the end.
Yeah. And
it's probably one of my better decisions.
Yeah, actually one of your better decisions there. You really didn't miss out on much. I think apart from getting to talk to a cartoon character, that was really my high point. I think when it went downhill there. I'm going on stage doing karaoke.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Hyper Japan have oversold tickets in the past. It's been going on since I've been going there.
Yeah, I know. I think from the first, I remember the thing happening on the first one. I remember the year. I think that was the first year you went. Was the year?
Yeah.
I think Canon was there, and they wouldn't let us. Yeah, they wouldn't let us out. Do you remember that? They wouldn't let us out. If you went out, you weren't allowed back in, or you were allowed back in, but you had to...
that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, I remember because someone came over to me, one of my friends, like, don't leave. And they're like, what? Just don't leave. They're not letting people back in. And we sort of was like, because we were all going to go to like Tesco's and get a meal deal. But we were like, oh boy, I'm a poor student. I'm just going to have to bring it in and buy con food. I remember like having to spend a whole £1 on a Coke. Back then, that was like a big deal. And I was like, oh, is it drink? We all got we all just got stuck in there. And that's
kind of why I like they split the Saturday session into two.
Which was actually always a good idea. I always thought that was a good idea. Then after that, it was just a bit like they always had 2 sessions on the Saturday, so they sort of normally kick everyone out or put us all in a room for an hour. And then
in a holding pen.
One year I've watched rugby. That was good. But yeah, it was weird. But see, the thing with this new venue is I've checked it. I've looked up because size is a weird thing. When you see one size and something, you say that's bigger than that. But the thing is, you're looking at the size in a different way. I actually have gone up. I looked at the other venues they've used, like Tobacco Docks and Olympia. Most of the halls at Olympia are bigger, just a bit bigger than the entirety of this Evolution thing place. And Tobacco Docks was actually way bigger altogether. Of course, the problem with Tobacco Docks, I always found it was a bit stop-start. It was like one thing would be in one room. It almost felt like a hotel convention, but with like hundreds of rooms, which I could see was not the best. But still, there was still more room for stuff. And I mean, it was kind of like when I was first looking around, there were like I felt so sorry for the stalls right next to the stage, because you could just see that everybody was like. You could see the stage, so everyone was just standing there looking at the stage, like cutting off all those stalls. And probably then they have to literally, they have to like hit all the stage all the day. And the terrible thing was there was this room at the back, and they seemed to have stuck most of the artists in that room.
That was not a good idea.
Which is a shame because. This happened at London Film Comic-Con recently that they treated the artists quite badly. I think they put them up at the top and put a wall so you couldn't see where they were, even if. I think
that was like at the other convention that was at the LFCC that weekend, which I was tempted to go on, but I don't really want to give Showmasters any more money.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. I'm not sure if I'd ever go to another Showmasters. Showmasters would have to give me an offer. I did not possibly refuse to go back to one of their events. No, it was. I don't know. It was just a bit. They stuck them, and you could tell there was no air conditioning in this room. It felt hot.
No aircon.
And
as we just came out of like a heat wave with record temperatures.
Yeah. And it was a shame.
Barely any airing. No water.
Yeah,
didn't even provide water. It's like you can go to it doesn't take go down to Croydon, go to Costco's, buy loads of water for your people.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying Costco's. Because they do things big there. And hand it out to your people.
Yeah.
They will love you.
It wasn't good. From the reports I'm reading, I'm hearing stories of. Of course, these are reports. I want to clarify that we don't necessarily see all this stuff. What people have written about, there is a lot of them, and that's when it's concerning. There's reports of security not being the nicest.
Yep, and these people it's like security even stopped sales at the split session point. It's like I read something about someone had a 3-figure sale that they lost.
Yeah,
and that's not for Artist Alley.
No, that is. I also heard the Wi-Fi wasn't very good.
Yeah. It's like they had to pay about an extra 54 quid for Wi-Fi, which didn't work.
Yeah. Even, I don't think I kept it in the vlog. You see the part where Tomo buys the Final Fantasy 14 stuff? Yeah, that didn't almost go through. The poor girl was trying to struggle to get... She was struggling to get to get working.
I know that I struggled to get... I got a couple of stickers at Expo, which they were struggling to get the Wi-Fi on, but Expo had better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I will admit what Expo's. I heard what Expo's Wi-Fi has got better. It's like after I think after Expo's after Expo shenanigans, the Hyper Japan is making MCM look very good.
Yeah.
I guess
and also couldn't get food at Hyper until it wasn't until Sunday they could get food easily. It's like one of the people at Offside even went home on Saturday because they couldn't deal with the conditions.
I think that may have been the Final Fantasy 14 artist that week.
Yeah.
Very good artist, by the way. She's checking out.
Yeah. Yes. It's like people got heat stroke.
Yes, I'm hearing they were literally fighting with security just to open the doors to allow air in.
Yes, it's like heat stroke is not good, and especially on the back of the heat wave last week.
Yes,
you'd think they'd do better, And this is the thing, Hi Japan advertised itself as a cashless event.
Yes, it did, didn't it? I believe.
And then it went backseas on that on the Saturday. Because their Wi-Fi was not up to scratch.
No. There are reports that Maids of England have to start handing out waters to the vendors. The truth is that Maid of England's were more repaired than flipping Hyper Japan, a humongous.
But a lot of these artists, things like Artist Alley things, is for a few of them, it's their only source of income.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of years, it's just they've only been starting to get back to do cons again. Last and this year, there's some people that still not going back until next year.
Yeah.
And it's coming off the back of LFDC, which was a disaster.
Yes.
And if you turn stuff places like Etsy's, the cuts getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah. I will say I was at LFCC and it was unfortunately very woeful up in the Artist Alley. I mean, you could tell that not a lot of people had come through. there were a lot of people, like, literally when I sort of came down like the artist alley, I could sense certain artists being like, like they're like a zombie, like, like look at this. Wow, MCM, they're never like that. They're never like.
Yeah, it's like, wasn't like some of the vendors not do so well at LFCC?
No, I could tell it. As I said, it really did feel like certain vendors. It was like an episode of Walking Dead. You're walking past and they'll see you like, look at my art, and I just felt really sorry for them because you said people invest in this and this is their living, and you know, I mean, I just admit it. I wasn't interested in any of their art. I think there was only like one store that had anything hololive, and I think they wanted quite a lot. I think they only really had prints. And I like keychains and badges, something I can actually use more. I think I buy very few prints because I just don't have.
I mean, I'm not big. I mean, like, I only buy. I'm not big on prints, but like they've got. But like, if the print's interesting, I will buy it. It's like that nice Spy Family print I bought at MCM.
Yeah. And this is it. This is what I wanted to come on to. Is I think one of MCM's best secret weapons in the last couple of years. And I know there's another video that also says this. Has been the Artist Alley.
Yes.
I think the evolution of the Artist Alley has made certain other things at MCM that have got a lot worse. Like, the Artist Alley has evolved. Back in the day, I believe the Artist Alley, you weren't allowed to sell anything you didn't own the copyrights to. If I'm correct.
Well, yes. I think people are buying more dealer tables now.
Yeah.
For their art.
Because then you could buy a dealer's table and do it. But I think if you were in the Artist Alley, you couldn't. You had to sell like art with original characters and stuff. So, for example, I think he did like the comic for the Beano. Like the guy who does the Beano is in there. But he draws Dennis, so he's like, I technically have the copyrights for this. So, for example, you couldn't like sell a Miku print. You had to sell your own original characters. But I think a few years ago they went back on that rule, which was a good thing, and stated, you now are allowed to sell characters as long as like you have changed the art enough. You know, do it in your own style. And I believe from what I've talked to the guys who do the bootlegs, they do kind of say that they do check. But they said really the only people who've ever taken anything off the Artist Alley are people who have traced. Essentially, that what he kind of said. I said they did trace stuff, and essentially the company were there, and they were like, "You have just traced this photo. I can take this." Well, you know, if you drew a Ray like this Ray here, but she looked different enough, there would be like, "Oh, that's an original like Ray in an original pose in an original outfit." We can allow that or something like they're like thingy. But if it was like literally Ray, like. That had literally been copied, they'll be like, yeah, we're taking that. As you said, it has seen like more people have gone into the actual main hall. And I think it's because a lot of the bootleg tables now have been booted out, so it actually gave space. That's also from what I was talking to the bootleg people who do check for the bootlegs. That's what they said. They said, now the bootleggers are all gone. It means that like artists who have done well in the Artist Alley can move up into the big hall because they know. I mean, there's a few good artists who, I mean, most of the artists we do normally pick stuff up are I'd say in the main hall now. I do always love checking the Artist Alley to see the new talent. But I think the artists we not mostly like know and like to get stuff from now, we know they're in the main hall.
Yes.
But it's good to see that good. And the same with Japan Expo. Like Japan Expo, they did this way before, and it's always just been really good for Japan. Like most of the stuff I bought for Japan Expo, it's like they were sending like doujins and stuff at Japan Expo. They were sending like fan books and stuff like that. Stuff you're not going to get anywhere else. I got like, let's see if I got it on the floor here. See if I can not trip myself up. Ugh. I got like, I'm showing off this now. Sneak peek for Japan Expo episode. I might showing off like. I got this like hololive art book. But I think it's professionally made and stuff. It's like really lovely art. It's just like fan art from different hololive stuff. I'm not going to show all of it because do check this out if you do ever get the chance. But yeah, no, it's just really nice, and it's like these are the nice, unique things you want to find at these sites and places. And said the more it evolves, the more chance you're going to get stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I was saying that's been a good secret weapon. I just realised we haven't even got on to like I guess one of the main talking points of the bad points of Hyper Japan.
So what, the queues?
The queues. I have Harley's video. I've already played it once, but I'll play it again. I'm not going to play the audio because I think he uses copyrighted music. This is my dear friend Harley. Amazing artist, by the way. As you can see, this is the day 2 queue for the second session. Look how big that is. Of course, I realise I can't see it. And literally, in the video, he's like cutting to it. It's like later in the day, and you can see that was really far back. I can tell that's really far back in the park. And like he counts down. I think in the end, they literally just make it in before closing. I even sent him my vlog, and I was like, "This is what it looked like he does." Like 2 hours left until Hyper Japan is over, and they're still in the line.
Yeah.
And they're not even
no waters, no refreshments, no anything. Like somebody could go have like a whole cart full of Peckham Springs tap water and sell it for about £3 a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ridiculous, and it's like just looking at poor Hardy. It's just like 1 hour until Hyper Japan is over, and then they're finally getting let in. I will say he did say he had a really nice time at the concert afterwards. But there was another thing. It did feel like they actually did have some really good acts in the concerts. But it felt like they were trying. Oh, look, it's my friend Chris. Hey, Chris. It felt like they were keeping all the good. Like before at Hyper Japan, they always got some really good music artists. But most of them, it felt like they were keeping behind a paywall.
Yeah, the paywall's just crazy.
And I mean,
everything's like a paywall now. I know we did loads of like paywall stuff over the last couple of years, but it's like even like virtual panels they had to paywall. Yeah,
I mean, it feels a bit like Showmasters now. So it's like you go to Hyper Japan, you buy your ticket, then you have to pay for the sake tasting, pay for any workshops. I guess concerts, most of the concerts like the Mary panel was free. The vending machine had to pay for breaking the vending machine. What else did it's like that with Showmasters, you got to pay to meet the guests. I mean MCM is also the same, you have to pay. But I mean they at least have loads of good panels for free. Like the Trash Taste panel was free, the panel the next day, the Sydney panel was free, and I mean it was even free to meet Trash Taste. You just have to pay if you wanted to buy one of their prints. So it showed you how much in a way we could have got away with for free. We could have gone to MCM, met Trash Taste if we got something signed that wasn't one of the prints. I just wanted to do the prints. I wanted to support them.
We got Anya signed.
Anya's signed. So I got Amy. Anya's over there somewhere. So you just got your top signed or something, whatever you had on you just signed. Then you could have gone to the panel for free. That was entertaining. The panel of the century, and you could have gone to all three of the like Trash Taste related panels. And you would have had a good time. And then you could have gone to like the Bob Burger, got free Bob Burgers if you were there at the right time. Of course you had to pay for food and stuff, but you would have had there was entertainment to keep you going. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of these other events, it's like, if you want to go to see all the good musical guests, you got to pay the extra money. You got to pay the troll toll. Troll toll. But that way, I don't know, it just feels... I think this venue, there's nothing to grow into. They used everything they could.
But it's like, there was accessibility issues because cosplayers were blocking the accessibility ramp.
Was there? I haven't heard this one yet.
It's like someone who's using a wheelchair. There are people that using a wheelchair, but if you need to get, it's like all the cosplayers use some cosplayers use a hangout area or people, but it does seem to be at Hyper Japan. A lot more normies go.
I see.
On the sake food.
Yeah.
It's like they're even trying to haggle stuff in the artist alley. It's like, Most of that stuff's like either a very limited run.
Yeah, artist alley is normally pretty fairly priced. From what I saw, was very fairly priced. I wasn't gonna go up to any artists and go, I demand money off. And they normally do a lot of them. They are like doing like free for like I got those hololive pins. And she was doing like free. I think it was 3 for 5 or 2.
Yeah, 3 for 5.
She was already doing me a deal. It was funny because as I was wearing my Ami shirt, one of the hololive artists like, apparently there's another hololive artist. I really want to buy all their stuff, so can you find it for me? I went through and it took me ages. I eventually found it, and I had to go back to them. I had found the other hololive artists, and I showed them what they had. Like, brilliant! I can go and buy their stuff. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. Have we covered all the terrible things Hyper Japan has done?
I'm not sure, but it's like people. But like, Hyper Japan's quite a unique event in UK. Well, I know it's more like Japan-focused events like Japan Matsuri that's running this year and Doki Doki up in Manchester. Mm-hmm. But it's like people tend to go to like these stuff for J-Fashion things too.
Yeah. See, I like Hyper Japan. I always had a soft spot. I've been with Hyper Japan since the beginning. I've been to the very first one. I do generally like that they do get stuff that other conventions do. It's a good convention trying to get out. I think their biggest problem is they've never found a good perma home. I mean, I think they almost had it with Earl's Court, but then they kind of knocked down Earl's Court.
Yes.
I mean, that's their biggest problem. I think they've been to Olympia, which I admit is nowhere near as good as Earl's Court. Then they've been to Tobacco Dock, which I already said stop-start.
Yeah.
Now they're over at this Evolve. Well, I think this would work if they capped the sale.
Yes. A lot of events are really bad at this.
Yeah. Yes.
I know they want to recover money from after the Panini, but it's like LFCC doing cap sales.
No.
MCM kind of did, and even then it was quite packed.
It was quite packed. Got to Genshin. Genshin Impact store. Oh, I can finally tell my adventures at the Genshin Impact store when we finally get the Japan Expo. I can finally tell you what's in there. That's for another time. But yeah, so literally people who had bought tickets were just stuck outside. And apparently has anyone got a refund?
I don't know, but I don't think they'd actually disclose.
Yeah, because it's saying, from what I showed that video Harley posted, it did just seem like everybody was stuck. And it did seem like, he showed up really late or something. I think he was there practically when it should have been time to be let in. So it just showed you that people weren't moving. I did hear the first session ended late. So I don't know. I think there was a story behind that. Whether they hadn't quite figured out how, or just people were very clever at staying in for a bit longer. Yeah. I don't know. It's sad to see, because I do really like Hyper Japan's event. Even though I've kind of fallen out with Showmasters, I don't have anywhere near as much affection to them. But seeing Hyper Japan kind of be like this, that's just really sucky. And yeah, it's like I love my MianiCon, I love my KissaCons, but I will admit, with this growing community, those sort of events aren't going to be enough to keep the fandom going.
They're quite closed off.
They're quite closed off, I will admit that. They're not for everyone, unfortunately. We do need big mainstream events like this. And I think in a way, after this whole thing actually may show that MCM is getting a lot more right than we actually give them credit for.
Yeah. I know MCM's just an easy target.
It's an easy target, but it's kind of like actually looking at this. it actually does show you that MCM does mostly, except for stage security, have their shit together. Yeah. Which they will admit they are preparing to work on. But then at the same time, it's more the fact that I do understand that it's in London. They only have one event outside of London now, once a year. I do understand that there's people who can't travel down to London. They're younger people, and that's what I'm saying. I do want these people. I think one company that does potentially that anime manga pop. They look quite interesting because they got the Genshin Impact contracts. I do know I went to their Wales event. I will admit it was, but they had some nice ideas. I can give them credit for that. They did give an old college a try. It's just a shame. I personally felt the venue was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but you got more companies popping up doing events now. You've got stuff like UKCGF, which I'm interested in holding a Comic-Con there next year, which is going to be interesting considering the feedback we got from this one.
The only thing is, the good thing about this, Rebecca, if you get a ticket and you can't get in, we can just go to the park and do a nice cosplay photo shoot. Yeah. Yeah, that was actually one of the nice things. I'm going back to actually a nice thing to say about how Battersea Park is actually a nice place to probably go and do a cosplay photo shoot. Yeah. So yeah, that I should go back and give him another nice point. But yeah, it's just kind of sad to just be in this sort of like, especially mostly how good Japan Expo was, mostly. But I'll get onto that in the Japan Expo episode. But yeah, it was just kind of sad to have such like a big step down in event quality. Yeah, but there's like a couple things as well. Events needs to do better for artists because they do. Like, word gets out there. And word gets out there, and then people won't go. No, they do, and they'll say no. But it's like outside stuff can be done. Tokyo only runs for one day compared to Hyper Japan's 3 days, but it can be done, but I don't think doing like the artist stuff outside would be the best idea. Especially trying to get all the stuff away for the evening and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that all the food places are outdoors. If you wanted food, you have to go. So imagine if they just hit down the rain. Yeah. It does happen in the summer. It's a British summer. Yeah, imagine that Hyper Japan if it had just hit down with rain all day. Like, we would have had to go and stand in all them lines in the rain. We got away with it, but all the food lines were huge. They've always been huge at Hyper Japan. I know, but they were huger. We got deep fried ice cream. And there was a lot less variety than it normally was. It was kind of a shame. I think some of the stores I like to normally get food from weren't there. So I ended up just getting deep fried ice cream because I'm like, deep fried ice cream! It's like, there used to be some great stuff at Hyper Japan. Yeah. No, we have had some pretty well stuff. We've had, trying to think, stores come over from Japan. We've had like anime guests come over. We even had the manga artists come over, an anime artist. Yeah. They got lots of bands over. It was really good. I mean, when it was in the O2. When it was in the O2, it looked like, oh, it's going to go to the next level. And then just after that one, I think that was like where it peaked, that O2 year. And I don't think O2 was the best venue, personally. But after that, I just think they struggled. They never got to that quality. Which is a shame. Yes, but it used to be my favourite of the London events, but... Show you didn't go. I was generally shocked when you said, oh, I'm not going. Because I'm like, it's Hyper. Rebecca loves Hyper. Rebecca always... Like, I know you go to Hyper over MCM. Yeah. But yeah, no, it shows you how crazy. So is there any... I mean, I would have gone if it was like 2
if I was doing 2 cons at the end of August.
Ah, yes, you do have KittyCon, don't you?
Yes. Well, we've got KittyCon as well.
Yeah, because this week, Saturday's Toko.
Yeah.
Then I think I get 2 weeks off or a few weeks off of conventions, and I got Kitta. And then I realised after that I haven't got a con until MCM. I'm like, thank God. Can finally get all this.
Finally get that backlog on the go.
Yeah, I got all those backlog videos ready to go, so that'll be good. So we've got lots of content. Is there anything else you want to add about Hyper Japan?
Bring back the fried chicken and drink combo.
Yes.
You know that time I went to Earl's Court when we got the drink with the fried chicken on top.
That was good. And he had the little top. They had the little thing on top. Yeah,
and the chocolate bananas.
God, the chocolate banana. We want the chocolate bananas back.
Yes. And also, Hyper Japan.
Yeah.
Bring Moss Burger over.
Oh,
Burgers.
Yeah, they did that at Japan Matsuri a few years back, and
they
sold out pretty fast. They were sold out by the end.
Yeah. You had 2.
I had 2. I planned it. I just planned it. That I was like, get there for breakfast, have one. Then I was like, oh, Rebecca will be here like 2 hours time. So I had Moss Burgers for breakfast. And then I waited an hour and a half for you to arrive. I'm like, brilliant, because it's going to be a long line now. And that was great. And then we just got back in the line. I ordered because Karen got there late. And I just ordered I remember ordering Karen's one. And like, yep, that's brilliant. It was like another 40 minutes like in the line. And I was like, brilliant, I have one for dinner. I have one for lunch now. I think by dinner they'd sold out. So right.
Now I want a Moss Burger.
Now I want a Moss Burger. You have to wait. Right. So, anything else you want to, before we head off?
I don't think there's anything.
No, that's good. It was a fun episode today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's good. Things are looking up. I just think it's a case of, I think someone needs to really step up and go next level. I see a lot of potential. I just don't want to see all this potential being wasted. Be like the England women football team. Yeah, best of luck to them in the final on Sunday, of course. Right, shall we? So, of course, we're Anime UK. Don't forget to check us out on social media at Anime UK on Twitter. Of course, on Instagram at Anime UK 0. And of course, we've got our vlogs coming up. We've still got more Japan Expo content coming up. Of course, our 20th episode that hopefully will be about my trip to Japan Expo and how much fun I had. And yes. But yes, so we say goodbye, Rebecca?
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. See you again soon. And don't forget to subscribe.